Imagine an art forger, a brilliant one, who has never seen a real Rembrandt. Next to them sits a world-class art detective, whose only job is to spot fakes. The forger creates a painting and shows it to the detective. The detective scoffs and says, "Fake." The forger tries again and again, millions of times per second. Each time, the detective gets a little better at spotting fakes, and the forger, based on that feedback, gets a little better at creating them. This adversarial game isn't happening in a dusty studio. It's happening inside Silicon. This is a generative adversarial network, or GAN. Two neural networks locked in a cycle of creation and critique, endlessly refining their abilities until the generated image is statistically indistinguishable from the real thing. It's not learning from a rulebook on how to paint a face, but through a relentless high-speed arms race. But where is the forger getting its ideas? The network isn't just cutting and pasting pixels. It's exploring a vast multidimensional map of data called latent space. Think of it less like a photo album and more like a celestial sphere of every possible concept. By moving to a different point in this space, the AI can summon a face that is slightly older, or has a different expression, or is lit from the left instead of the right. It's a fluid geography of ideas. Programmers can find a vector, a direction, that represents adding glasses to a face, and then apply that vector to any face in the latent space. This isn't just recalling data, it's manipulating the fundamental components of what makes a face a face. In a way, you do something similar. Picture a dog. Now picture a cat. You just traveled between 2 points in your own mental latent space. This process allows an AI to learn something as abstract as artistic style. It isn't copying brushstrokes, it's performing a statistical analysis on a massive scale. The AI deconstructs thousands of works by a single artist, learning the texture, the color palette, the geometry of the composition, the characteristic way a line curves. It learns the probability that a specific shade of blue will appear next to a certain yellow. It's not an appreciation of aesthetics. It's the cold, hard math of patterns. Once it internalizes this visual grammar, it can then apply that style to a completely unrelated subject. It can render a photograph of a modern city street as if it were painted by Monet. The AI has become fluent in a language it cannot understand, using a dead artist's vocabulary to describe a world they never saw. This fluency leads to an unsettling question of authorship. When the artwork Edmond de Bellamy was created, its creators, the art collective Obvious, fed an algorithm 15,000 portraits painted between the 14th and 20th centuries. The resulting print was signed not with a human name, but with a portion of the GAN's loss function algorithm. So, who is the artist? Is it the programmers who wrote and curated the system? Is it the thousands of original artists whose work formed the dataset, their creative DNA now part of this new entity? Or is it the algorithm itself, the non-conscious forger that made the final creative decisions within its latent space? The law is still catching up. A photograph taken by a monkey was denied copyright because it wasn't of human authorship. Where does that leave a work painted by a ghost in a machine? And yet, that ghostly painting sold at Christie's auction house for $432,500. Why? The image itself is blurry, indistinct. But the buyer wasn't acquiring just an image on a canvas. They were purchasing a historical artifact. It represents a milestone, the moment a non-human creation was accepted into the sanctum of high art. Its value is derived almost entirely from its context, from the story. This is not new. Marcel Duchamp's fountain is just a urinal, but its story and the questions it asks about art make it priceless. The Bellamy portrait functioned in the same way. It was a physical token of a massive technological and philosophical shift. The price tag wasn't for the art, it was for the conversation the art started. Monotony has grown fast. Nearly 2,700 people have watched in the last few weeks, yet less than 0.03% are subscribed. It would mean a lot if you joined by hitting subscribe. And again, thanks for watching.